Hey guys, a quick video here on food cravings, being hungry, and the thing that not many people know about, which is it's the ultimate, let's say, way to get in great shape, burn body fat, and just generally be healthy. That's free, that nobody seems to know about. And I'm going to tell you about that. But first, when it comes to wanting all of those things and, just being in great shape and being a happier person, being healthier, something that always, typically, normally sends people off track is it's your nutrition, okay? It's the food that you eat, but more to the point, it's overeating, it's having those times where you battling against food cravings and eating into things that you necessarily didn't want to do. Be honest, that happens, right? And that undoes people's goal. You can be really, really tough about it. You can be self-disciplined. You can have, let's say willpower, but food cravings, being hungry too many times during the day, week, will always beat you. There's a simple reason for that. Our brain, our mind, works mainly in autopilot. So 90% of your day, you're doing things without generally thinking about it. So that's an interesting thing to think about there. So if 90% of your day you're in this autopilot mode and you're doing things that are just sort of built into your brain, your mind, it's no wonder that you're choosing into doing things that you might not necessarily have control over, and then before you know it, you think, why did I do that? I don't really understand. Okay, so let's just jump straight into it. When it comes to tackling things like this, it is very, very simple, but people often make it harder for themselves, which is a shame because it can be easier. The thing is, people often, let's say, they believe in things shouldn't be easy, it shouldn't be simple, otherwise everyone would be doing it. But what happens is that people aren't doing the basics, okay? Now, I know that sounds obvious, but there's certain non-negotiables that people need to be doing. But what happens is people try and look for the cooler, the trendier, the sexier stuff first. But without building that foundation, that isn't going to work. So there's certain non-negotiables that you need to question. Are you doing these? That is quite simply, are you hitting your water goal? Yes, we talk about that a lot. There's a reason it's number one. Number two, are you hitting your protein goal? Okay, very, very simple. Are you hitting your protein goal and spreading that over 3 to 4 meals during the day? That's really, really important, because higher protein will keep you fuller longer and less likely to want to nibble on stuff that you don't want to do. Okay. Number 3, let's say you're trying to lose weight, or you're just trying to stay healthier, and you're not too bothered about the number on the scales. But do you know your numbers? Because most people don't. What I mean by that is, do you actually know the calories that are going into your mouth? And then do you know how many calories that you're potentially burning during exercise? This is really, really important. Because if you're eating healthy and then you believe that you should be losing weight as a result, yes, that should happen, but you can actually eat too many calories actually being healthy. Healthy food has calories too. It's just that it's harder to overeat eating healthy. So one of the challenges that I've set people, and you're going to know about this, is just for the first week, get an understanding of what calories are in what and what's going into your mouth. So you've got physical data, because people often get caught up in the drama situation of, oh, well, it's not working for me, and I'm really, really trying, and I'm wasting my time, I might as well give up. You don't know anything like that. You don't know physical data. You could use this analogy for anything, whatever work or job that you do. I bet you know your numbers. If you're in finances, or you're a solicitor, or you're a website designer, or you just deliver stuff, it's obviously a really important job. There are numbers that are involved. Without those numbers, you ain't doing your job very well. It's exactly the same, but different. If you don't know your numbers when it comes to trying to control what happens with your body, it isn't going to work. So get a better idea of what your numbers are. And I don't want people doing this forever, and I tell them that. But the reason you do it just for a week or two, maybe 3, so you don't then have to do it. You raise your awareness of what is food, what's in food, what's actually going inside of me, what calories do I need, how many are going out through exercise. When you start to understand that, you'll never ever probably have to count calories ever again. I very rarely do. Now and again I might have a little bit of a checkup just to check things are going okay, but doing the work at the beginning means you don't have to do it long term. That's what we want. We want a bit more freedom when it comes to living our life. So know your numbers, number 3. Number 4, so you know your protein goal. You've got a better idea of what calories you need over the overall week. You then just fill the rest up with mainly healthier carbs and healthier fats. Depending on your goal, that can change, and that's obviously something that we can discuss. But eating more of the healthier types of fats, make sure they're in there. They're really important, and the healthier types of carbohydrates rather than sugary based processed stuff. You're gonna do all right. If you've got a slight calorie deficit and you're trying to lose weight, you're gonna do all right. Do it using that approach. Long term, you're going to be healthier, you're going to lose weight, you're going to feel great. You're not going to feel like you're actually on a diet. That's sexy. And then number 5, eat adequate fibre, because a lot of people don't do that, and they're not sure what fibre is. And yes, of course, we can say there's fibre in vegetables, but there's not that much in vegetables. But there's things like oats and certain grains, and again, this is where getting a better understanding of food and what's going in, and using maybe certain apps so you can track what's in what and stuff like that, so you get a better idea. And 20 to 30 grams of fibre is more than enough, and it's healthy for the gut. It's going to help you digest food better. It's going to keep you fuller longer. So again, food cravings start to disappear when we do the simple things better. So they are the 5 non-negotiables: hitting your water goal, your protein goal, knowing your numbers, consuming more healthier forms of carbohydrates and healthier fats over, the crap, and then eating adequate fibre. Now, if you're doing that, or when you're doing that, right, you can then look at the other things if you're still having issues. This is, the sexier stuff. So number 1 is check your food, what you're currently eating, because there are certain foods that digest better than others. If you're constantly eating stuff that digests quite quick, or, more to the point, doesn't absorb in the gut, so you're not extracting the nutrients, your brain's going to go, hey, I didn't get that hit, I'm still hungry, I'm going to make you eat something. Okay, now this is where it gets a little bit more trickier, because we start talking about the gut health and what goes on inside. But again, I ain't talking about that with people unless they're hitting their non-negotiables. But this stuff, gut health, is really, really important. Okay, and it's definitely a game changer. So ask me about that if you've hit your top 5 non-negotiables. And then there's other things like blood sugar issues, because if they're like all over the place on a roller coaster, you are always going to be hungry and looking in the fridge. There's no 2 ways about it. That will happen. But we can fix that in a simple way. But you don't know that unless you know the numbers. And there's a test that we can do with that, which is obviously in the program I'm creating. And then number 2, This is the best way anyone can lose weight, and it's free. It's absolutely fucking free. But people aren't aware of it, and they're doing it. They're just doing it badly. I'm not going to say this is easy, but it's not, because for 30, 40, 50 years, depending on how old you are, you've possibly been training yourself to do it wrong. And that's chewing your food. Most people are busy, they're stressed, they're eating on the go. Things take over, okay? I get that, can't just stop that. So when it comes to them eating their food, they're like walloping it down, they're not really chewing it much, and they're swallowing it quick, which means your gut, go back to the gut health here, you don't absorb the food very well. So comes out that way. So you waste your food. So if you could be eating the best diet in the world and spending quite a lot of money on it maybe, and you could then be wasting your money because you're not doing the one simple thing that starts at the top here in your mouth. So chew your food more. You should chew your food really between 30 to 50 times. Now, next time you go and eat something, count how many times you chew it. It's probably about 10. Okay, and if it's something like eggs, it's probably 2. So next time, and this is where you got to be really, really aware, and it comes back down to being more conscious. And remember, 90% of the time we are in automatic. So this is where it becomes difficult. You've got to switch yourself on and think about when you eat, being present with your food, which is why sitting down, having food on a plate, eating with others and talking is a really good way to, lose weight. And that's why the Mediterraneans do it really well, because their culture is about eating in groups, where we're sort of eating on the go and just waffling it all down. So next time you eat some food, count how many times you chew, and then I think the easiest way that I've worked this one out is that when you go to swallow that food, whatever it is, go stop, chew it 10 more times. I'm not going to ask someone to chew food 50 times if they're not nowhere near that. There's no point, the gap's too big. So just try and chew it 10 more times. Just do it a few times, because it's going to be quite difficult, but the more you practice, the more you get better at it, the more you become aware of it. But honestly, if you only ever did one thing, do that, and it's free. Okay, you've already got a mouth. Just use it properly. And then the third one is get a bit more going towards, let's say, the emotional side of things here. And as I said, people are busy and they're stressed, but who are you when you're about to eat your food? If you've got similar patterns going on when you eat certain foods, and let's say stuff that you don't necessarily want, it's a certain time of the day, maybe in the evening, and you've built up lots and lots and lots of stress during the day, so you're coming from the animal instinct and survival, and you're reactively eating, and that's when a lot of food cravings and things that we don't necessarily want to choose into happen. So you could think, well, who was I leading up to that? How did I feel 3 hours ago, 2 hours ago, 1 hour ago? And those things often leave clues, okay? But that's obviously, that's getting more onto a deeper level, but hit your 5 negotiables, because most people aren't doing that consistently. And remember, that's an important thing, consistently. If you're doing that, we can then look at the sexier stuff. All right, hope that helps. Speak to you soon. Take care.